Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. It is the second international break of 2025 and the third match week of the Uefa Women's Nations League. England, after an unbeaten start in their first two games, look to push on in this double-header against Belgium, hosting them tonight at Ashton Gate and travelling away on Tuesday. Two big games if England look to hold on to that top spot in Group 3 of the Nations League. A brilliant win against Spain and a tough draw against Portugal in match week 1 have put England in a really good position, but now is time to build on it. And as we get closer to the European Championships, as this Nations League carries on, England look to build momentum and keep the points ticking over to have not only build up form going into those Euros, but to have a good shot at making the next Olympics, which would be big for England, saying they missed out. For Belgium tonight, it's a long shot to get a win. They really struggled in their first international break. They were somehow they were 2-0 up against Spain. They're in a brilliant position, and with 13 minutes to go, they conceded 3 goals and ended up losing 3-2. How they lost that game, I'll never know. And then their second game, they fell to a narrow 1-0 defeat to Portugal. But Belgium, they put up a good fight in those two games. They'll look tonight to once again try and cause problems, try and make things difficult for England, and just push the Lionesses all the way. Make sure they stay in the game, keep it competitive, and make England work for the result tonight. But for Sarina Wiegman and the Lionesses, it will be get the job done as usual, put on a good performance, and just keep the wins coming and keep that form building. Yi Chen already welcome to the stream, same with Kieran as well. Great to see you all tuning in for tonight. A big game for England. It's an opposition that you would expect the Lionesses to be beating, but football's never as simple as that, and England will want to turn up, they'll want to play well, and they'll want to hopefully score a couple goals tonight. Let's have a look at the 11 Lionesses starting for England then. As I said, England as the home side, obviously. Hannah Hampton starting in goal for the Lionesses. It is in a back four of Charles, Bright, Williamson and Bronze. It's the same back four that we've got used to seeing under Wiegman in 2025 with the absences of Greenwood and the likes. It is in a midfield three of Grace Clinton, Kira Walsh and Ella Toone. I can imagine it'll be Walsh in that single pivot, and then Clinton and Toone playing as those more eights, those more attacking and offensive midfielders. And then the front three is Lauren James on the left-hand side, Beth Mead on the right-hand side, and Alessia Russo, red hot Russo, leading the line for England. Brilliant form has Alessia Russo, both in an Arsenal shirt and in an England shirt. Has put up some brilliant numbers this season. 18 goals in all competitions for the Gunners, and has just had a very strong campaign. And again, scored against Portugal as well in the most recent international break. So enjoying a very good season is Alessia Russo, and she'll be hoping to add to her goals tonight. Let's have a look at the away side then. Belgium now. This could be a variety of players playing in different positions, and it could be a variety of systems. But I think it's going to be a 5-3-2 for Belgium tonight. Nikki Everard in net. A lot of people and a lot of DSL fans will be familiar with her. It is in a back five of Janssens, Tissiak, Van Havermet, Iliano and Filtjens. A midfield three then of Masipo, Toylins and Taloba. And then it looks to be Janice Kamen playing slightly behind Hannah Yearlings, who is leading the line for Belgium tonight. Now, as I said, there's a lot of different things that could be happening there. We could see Taloba playing slightly further forward. Janice Kamen could be playing anywhere on this football pitch. Obviously, she plays more of an attacking role for Leicester, but does play a bit more of a defensive role for Belgium. So whether she's playing as that number 10 or we could see her in another position, potentially so. It's the same with Justine Van Havermet. For Everton, she plays as that more of that centre half, whereas for Belgium, we usually see her play midfield. But I do think tonight, looking at the system, looking at the fact they're going to want to play a 5-back and sit deep, I think we will see Van Havermet slot in as one of those three centre halves. But it will be interesting to see what Belgium do tonight. I think that against Spain and against Portugal, we saw that Belgium really went for the game. They played quite aggressively, which was unexpected, especially against Spain. We thought they'd sit deep and play it conservative. And yes, they did. I'm not saying they went all guns blazing, but that they did manage to score 2 goals. They did play pretty aggressively, and it did pay off. So For them to change it up for England tonight, I think shows how, despite the fact they played well against Spain, they didn't get the result over the line. At the end of the day, that's why they've gone defensive tonight. But it will be interesting to see, can Belgium get forwards when they win that ball back? Can they hit England on the break in that turnover? Can they prove to be dangerous? Ryan, welcome to the stream. Says, hey there, I see you are riding solo tonight. Yes, unfortunately, just myself tonight, but Jack will be back on Tuesday for Belgium, but for the same game, just the other way around. So if you want to see two of us watch the exact same game, tune in on Tuesday as well. And Save Us welcome to the stream says Keating should have been in the 11. I think it's a very interesting point, and it's a point we talked about in our video this morning. How England taking 4 goalkeepers just seems really pointless because, as you say, with Kiara Keating, if she's not going to play for England, then why would England call her up? If Keating's not going to start, then you might as well let the under-23s have her, and then she can start for them and be a very key player in that side. So it's a really interesting decision to call Keating up if you're not going to play her, because it feels like you're limiting yourselves, England, by calling her up as that third, fourth choice goalkeeper. I mean, she's not even really in contention to start, but I do think that if you are going to call up Keating, use her. If not, then let her go to the under-23s. Let her be a big part of that under-23 side. That the England young Lionesses lost narrowly last night. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? They lost 2 under Spain, which was a really competitive game, really close game. But anyway, that was just mentioning on Keating. But I think that Hampton starting again tonight does show that Wiegman has made her decision that Hannah Hampton is now the England number 1, and that Hampton will be favoured to start at the European Championships, which, whether you like that decision or not, I think it's important. I think it's crucial that that Wiegman has made that decision, because the last thing you want to do is be going into an international tournament and see that you haven't made a decision over your goalkeepers, and that would be and that could be a bit of a strange scenario, a bit of a scenario that could catch you out. When you're an international side, you need to have one starting goalkeeper and one starting goal, and just pick a goalkeeper and stick with them. Nash, you're on the stream, what do you think of Morehouse starting for England? I don't see it happening. I think that Anna Morehouse is a good goalkeeper, but she's not quite on the level of an Earps or a Hampton. And I think that Morehouse is capable as that number 3, whether it be a number 3 or a number 4, depending on what Kiara Keating's doing, and depends what Wiegman wants to do there. But I do think that Morehouse will be involved as one of the reserve goalkeepers, but I don't think she'll be in line for a start anytime soon. But it'll be interesting to see. It'd be nice to see her get a start at some point, because she has done a very, very good job of being that reserve goalkeeper. She goes to every camp at the moment and as that backup, which is a lot of travelling for a player to not play a single minute. But at the end of the day, England you're always going to favour the stronger goalkeepers. But it would be nice to see Morehouse get a start at some point. But I don't see it happening really. I think England will be too. They're always going to. Excuse me. When you've got Hampton and Earps, it's very difficult to rotate any other goalkeeper into that selection. But for England tonight, it's important to get the result over the line. It's important to play well, I think, as well. When you're looking at it, though, the form that some of these players are in, I think, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Russo has been absolutely brilliant. Lauren James, in the second half of the season, has really, really come into form and has caused a lot of teams issues. I think Beth Mead had a brilliant game against Crystal Palace. If we can see that again, then that England front 3 could really be firing. And that's a front 3 that doesn't include Lauren Hemp, that doesn't include Chloe Kelly, which I think is a shame for those of you who don't know. Chloe Kelly pulled out of tonight's squad through injury. She may be available for the Tuesday game, but we'll wait and see. And I think that's a shame, though, because for Kelly, she played very, very well in the last couple of weeks, has been brilliant for Arsenal, and I think that she probably would have been in line to start tonight. So a shame for Kelly, but England is still a very, very strong front 3. I think the midfield is very aggressive, and I mean, that is fine for a game against Belgium. I think he expects to be quite an attacking midfield with Toon and Clinton linking up in there and hoping to cause some problems against a stronger side. Then you'd probably look to, obviously, if England had more options, you'd favour maybe a Mace or a Stanway or whoever. But England limited with options, opting for those two more attacking midfielders, which makes sense. They're, Clinton and Toon are the type of players tonight that can really, pick this Belgium side apart, and that is what they'll look to do tonight. And then defensively, England are ridiculously strong. It's a very, very strong back four. Charles and Bronze are going to be up and down that pitch, causing a lot of issues trying to get that ball wide for England. So intrigued to see what Belgium can do to limit England tonight. England, they're going to want to get the ball wide. Belgium are going to sit deep and going to try and absorb pressure and stop that ball getting into their own penalty area. It's England's it's England's objective to stop that happening. Yi-Chen says, I think they have announced that Kelly wouldn't play in the next game either. That is a big shame. If that is the case, then that'll be very frustrating, because I think that, as I said in this morning's video, this is the first squad that I think that Kelly has got into on merit. In the last couple squads, obviously not before, but I think out of the last couple international breaks, I think Kelly has got into the squad when she hasn't really been in form. But this time she got into the squad, deservedly so. She's been brilliant in recent weeks. So it's a shame to see that she can't play. As Yisha says, she's gone back to Arsenal for treatment. Yeah, that's a big miss. That's a big shame for England. Because I think it would be very useful to have Chloe Kelly tonight. And to get that ball wide to her on the right hand side and cross it in. Instead, though, Beth Mead out on that right hand side and will be looking to do a very similar jobs. But yeah, quite strong support, to be fair, for Belgium tonight. A lot of fans have made the trip over to Bristol. Obviously, the main support is for England, but there's a decent contingent of Belgian fans, and fair enough, because as they proved in the first couple of games in the Nations League, they are a side that can cause some difficulty for the big sides. They should have really beaten Spain, if not drawn. Somehow they lost. They were a couple set minutes away from taking all 3 points, and they ended up coming away with none. So yes, they did lose that game, and they did look at a shambles towards the last stages, but they also proved that for 75-80 minutes, they can put up a really good fight against these stronger sides. They can cause a lot of problems for the likes of Spain, for the likes of England. Let's see what England can do. Anthems are done now, so let's get into some predictions. If you are just tuning in, make sure to get involved in the live chat. Have your say on how you think this game's going to go, and get a score prediction in there, and I'll make sure to read it out. I'll start with the poll in chat, 25 votes, and well, a very, very strong 96% of people backing England to win tonight, 4% going for a draw. Not one vote for Belgium, lacking in the Belgian fans tonight, which is expected. England looking very, very strong. They're a much stronger side than Belgium are. You'd expect them to win, which is fair enough. But yeah, make sure to get those predictions down into the live chat. I will kick us off. I am going to say, I think England will win comfortably tonight. I think England will play some very, very nice football. I will go 3-0 to the Lionesses. I think it'll be goals from Russo and James in the first half, and then Aggie Beaver-Jones off the bench in the second half. Another player that has been in brilliant form for Chelsea in the last few weeks, finds herself on 8 goals this season, which is very, very strong for a striker that isn't a number one starter for Chelsea. So credit to Beaver-Jones, and I think that she will get an opportunity tonight off the bench, and she will come on and score. So 3-0 England, I'm going to go for. I think it'll be a pretty convincing win. For Wiegman's side and Belgium, I think they'll put up a decent fight to start with, but once England start to build that pressure, once they start to really get that ball into the box and start to get shots away, I think it will just be too much for Belgium, and England will end up winning this game. But yeah, both sides out on the field and ready to get underway. As I mentioned earlier, a weird double header between these two sides. England hosting tonight, and then Belgium will be at home on Tuesday. And it's always weird to get to. This is what I always find the Nations League scheduling really bizarre. Why they set it up so you have to play two sides back to back, I really don't know. It just makes things very, very difficult for both managers, because you have to play against a side and then you have to plan to find a way to play against them again in different circumstances, but still the same side. So, by the way, tonight it does look like Yanis Cayman will be playing as that left centre half, Van Havermet starting in the middle of midfield, and Taloba as part of that front two. But that could easily be a completely different way round. Phil Easter onto the stream says, I'm confident, but we have struggled versus Belgium a couple of times. I'm going 4-1. Big prediction. Welcome to the stream, Phil. Yeah, I think that Belgium are always a side that can cause a couple issues. They're a side that they don't tend to turn up on a football pitch and get completely smashed about by big sides. And I can't think of any times they've been on the end of an absolute thumping. But I do think that England will put up a good performance tonight. And as you say, yes, Belgium have made it difficult in Britain in the last couple of meetings, but I think that England look as strong as they ever have in over the last few years. England starting to get back to that European Championship winning form as we get only 4 months away from the tournament starting. Speaking of starting, it'll be Ella Toon to get this game underway. Toon knocks it back and England get us started here at Ashton Gate in match week 3 of the Uefa Women's Nations League. England, with a win tonight, will hold on to their top spot, leading by a point to Spain. Oh, and also level with Portugal as well. I forgot about. And speaking of those two sides, they kicked off 15 minutes ago. I believe it is still Portugal 0, Spain 0. That's a game to keep an eye on as well from an England point of view, because if Spain are to drop points there, that is a big result for England. And you think if England do win tonight and Spain drop points anywhere else, then England will put themselves in a very, very good position to qualify top the group and put themselves into the semi-finals. Obviously, so we have match week 3 and 4 in this international break, and then match weeks 5 and 6 come at the end of the season before the Euros in June. Again, really weird scheduling, terrible time to have an international break, but alas, that's how they've done it. England looking to start fast here. Toon tries to play a 1-2 with Lauren James, but that is put out for a corner. But really good stuff from England, already trying to move the ball quickly, trying to cause problems for Belgium in those wide areas, looking to isolate those wing backs. Beth Mead then comes over to the left-hand side to take this corner for England. Beth Mead coming into this international break after picking up 2 lovely goals against Crystal Palace on Mother's Day. Mead with the ball in. It's not a bad one. Put into a dangerous area. Not dealt with brilliantly by Belgium. Bronze keeps it alive. Walsh puts it in there. It's a good ball. It's not quite dealt with. And it is scuffed away for a corner by Taloba. England already looking dangerous. Teasing ball in from Walsh. Just dinked it back into the penalty area. Looking to find, it was Alessia Russo and Millie Bright both at the back post. And Taloba does enough just to put it out for a corner. Beth Mead then with another set piece. Ball is flipped by Millie Bright and again turned away for another corner. 3 in a row then for Beth Mead. Is it third time lucky for England? And this is what I mean. England, when they can start fast, they can keep this relentless pressure on Belgium, they will eventually crack. They will eventually find a breakthrough. This time going short. Mead plays a 1-2 and Lauren James goes back to LJ, who puts the ball into the box. It's not a bad one. It's across the face of goal and out the other side for a Belgium goal kick. Not a bad ball from Lauren James. No one in an England shirt can get on the end of it, though. Little bit overhit. It was Leah Williamson who was the closest to it, but nothing happening from that. But good start from England. First couple minutes, having a handful of corners and really looking to put the pressure on Belgium. Everard plays it short. Tisiak flicks it into Taloba. Janssens down the line. That's a good ball. Really good ball. Ball across the box, blocked in by Niamh Charles and out for a Belgian corner. And this is what England have just got to be careful from the away side. They do go to play out the back. It's a lovely ball fed down the line into Janssens up against Niamh Charles. Niamh Charles won that battle. But if that ball gets into the box, suddenly that would have been a one-on-one with Leah Williamson in there. So England just got to be wary of Belgium on the counter. Here is Yannis Cayman over the corner. Cayman puts the ball in. It's a well-drilled effort, looking for Van Havermet. Cut out, though, by Millie Bright. Taloba will recycle it. And the ball all the way back to Tisiak. Phil says no Tessa Villette. Is it Villart for Belgium? I don't think so. Still trying to piece together this Belgium side. There's been a lot of different options it could have been. It does look to be that 5-3-2 though. Here is Niamh Charles picking up on a loose pass from Tisiak. Charles into Toon. Toon across to Lucy Bronze. Amir well into the stream, by the way, going for a 3-0 confident win. I like it. I said the same. I do think that England will win pretty confidently tonight. Here is Masuri, cut out though by Beth Mead. And England just doing well to limit Belgium when they get on the ball, being sharp in that press and just stopping Belgium from getting onto the ball. Cayman over the throw then. Gives it to Toilings, cut out though by Beth Mead, and England look to come the other way. Here is Ella Toon. Toon, big tackle though from Janssens. Pounces on it. Here's to Loba. Good feet. Looks to find Van Havemet. That's cut out. And the ball back to Millie Bright. Here is Hampton. Williamson. England now with an opportunity to get themselves on the ball and just slow this game down a little bit. Get themselves with a bit of control. Ball goes out wide to Lauren James. Does well to keep hold of it. Charles. Here is Kira Walsh. Walsh fires it into Ella Toon. Back to Lauren James, who looks to send Alessia Russo down the line. Iliano will sweep up. Flicks it out for a throw. Janssens keeps it in though. And Belgium will keep moving. Taloba pounced on by Charles. Walsh is robbed in possession by Toilings. Pulls her to the floor. Referee says that's fine though. And England will play on. Walsh. Toon. Round the corner to James. Charles under pressure from Taloba and forced to put it out for a throw. Belgium doing very, very well to force the error there from Niamh Charles. And that will be the goal for Belgium tonight. To just frustrate England, make things difficult for them. Slow the game down, take that danger away. Just to give themselves a bit of time on the ball, a bit of time not under pressure really. Throw cut out by Millie Bright. Williamson goes back to Hannah Hampton. Inside to Clinton. Good turn by Grace Clinton. Shifts it to Walsh. Walsh goes back to Williamson. Mead. Walsh. Walsh looks to play that ball in behind for Clinton. Well brought down by Grace Clinton, but a bit of a miss kick. Bronze can't quite keep it in. And that'll be out for a Belgium throw. England just struggling to progress that ball. From the initial stage of play, getting it out from Hampton with the back four, once those centre-halves get on the ball, it's a bit about trying to find that long ball. That throw is pounced on well by Bronze. Looks to send Russo down the line. Iliare, though, clears it. Well, clears it back into Bronze, and that will be a Belgium throw. But yeah, England, it just feels like, and this is the problem when you have a single pivot, is you've only got Walsh in there. It just feels like Clinton and Toon are just slightly running away from her, not giving her that option that I think that she'd like. Cayman taking her time over this throw. England not happy about it. Throws it straight to Clinton as well. Van Havemet will smash that clear for Belgium. Kept alive by Williamson. Toon. Bronze. Bronze into Mead. Good 1-2 between the two on the right-hand side. Russo looks to reverse it to Bronze. Van Havemet will poke that behind for an England corner though. Better football from the Lionesses, just starting to move it a little bit quicker and just starting to catch Belgium a little bit flat-footed. Phil says, what do you think about what did everyone think about the Trinity Rodman comment about her back? Sounded bad to me. I haven't actually seen them, so it'd be unfair to comment. But yeah, if anyone else has seen them, feel free to get involved with Phil's discussion. Mead puts the ball in, headed wide by Lucy Bronze. Not a bad corner, a good run from the England fullback. But that ball is just flicks wide. Didn't quite catch it as well as she'd like to. Runs onto it with pace. Just needed to guide it into the far corner. Ends up kind of just hitting her square on the head and going well wide. And Belgium will restart with a goal kick. Not a bad start though, as we approach the kind of end of the first 10 minutes. Not quite tested Nicky Everard in the Belgium goal just yet. But England have been probing and hopefully will create something of a better opportunity as they grow into this game. Here's Charles. Bright. Across to Williamson. Williamson into Walsh. And this is what I mean. When Walsh turns, Toon and Clinton are just far too ahead of her. Williamson will go long, looking for Alessia Russo. That's a really good ball down the line from Williamson. Here is Russo. Russo, ball cut out by Alare. And it will be another England corner. England's 5th corner of the match. Really good ball down the line into Alessia Russo. And it was Iliano there to cut it out. Russo did well, just tries to fire it straight across the box. And cut out well by the Belgium centre half. Mead puts the ball in, not a bad delivery. Williamson flicks it on. Is it dealt with by Bright? Not quite. Millie Bright tried to just get that final touch on it, but Everard pounces on it. Really good ball in from Mead. Williamson just flicks it towards the back post. Millie Bright can't quite make good enough contact with it. She kind of ends up running ahead of it, and it's actually poked goalwards by someone in the Belgium shirt there. I think it was Taloba. Everard looks to play out. Really good pass that into Yearlings. Finds a teammate, not a bad ball. Fired up the pitch looking for Taloba. Bright clears. Masipo putting on the pressure. Bronze into Williamson. Bright to Charles. Lauren James. Here's Walsh. James. Better from England. Toon. As soon as I say better from England, that's overhit from Ella Toon and out for a Belgium throw. And Belgium look to move it quickly. Janssens with a quick throw up the line. Yearlings keeps it in. Back to Tisiak. Tisiak fires it into Van Havermet. Swept up by the Belgium forward. Here's Yannis Cayman. Fires it long across the box. Bronze deals with it. And that will go out for a Belgium corner. Gabriella onto the stream. Says hello. And Phil, yes, that really doesn't sound very good at all for Trinity Rodman. Very worrying if that is the case. It'll be a shame because, as you say, because an incredible footballer, and hopefully it won't impact her ability too much. Well, 12 minutes gone here then at Ashton Gate. Still 0-0. Belgium with a corner. Yannis Cayman is the one over it. Options plentiful in that England penalty area. Cayman puts the ball in. It's not a bad one. Van Havermet makes contact with it. Clinton, though, will deal with it. Clears it. Not convincingly. It will be swept up by Janssens. Goes back to Everard. Amy says, whatever happened to George Stanway? It seems like we haven't heard from her for a very long time. She does still play with the English national team, doesn't she? Just want to make sure of it. Yes, she does. Stanway is injured. She picked up an injury, I think all I say it was a month or two back. And she's out for quite a while. And unfortunately, she's missed quite a big chunk of time for Bayern Munich, which was a shame for them. And has also missed the last few international breaks with England. So a shame for Stanway. Hopefully she'll be back fit and firing before the Euros, because she's a key part of this England side, and I think that will be valuable once she is back playing for the Lionesses. But hopefully for Rodman that issue won't affect her career at all. But USA going very steadily as well. Now, I know obviously a lot of England fans and other fans will start talking about the Euros this summer. But obviously, I think in 2 years' time, that World Cup with the US, with Spain, with England, going to be very, very competitive. Here's Lauren James. Looks to find Toon. Toon is what I would describe as thrown on the floor by Amber Tisiak, and that will be an England throw. Amber Tisiak, watching her for West Ham this season, has been one of those very hit and miss. James puts the ball across the box, cut out by Yannis Gaiman. Toon. Back to Williamson. But yeah, Tisiak has been really inconsistent. Has either played a blinder or has had a shocker in what feels like almost every game this season for West Ham. I'm intrigued to see how she'll look in a Belgium shirt tonight against a players, well, a starting 11 full of players that she's come up against this domestic season. Bronze plays it into Russo. Russo round the corner to Mead. Really good stuff from England. Mead puts the ball back in. Dealt with by Tisiak. Will fall to Charles, who hits it on the volley. Blocked. Falls to Clinton, who has a go. And that is turned behind by Iliano. And out for another corner. But better from England, moving it really nicely. Russo holds it up, reverses it round the corner to Mead. Mead cuts it across the box. It was headed away by Tisiak. Fell to Charles. Blocked again by Amber Tisiak. The deflected effort fell to Clinton, and she saw her shot blocked. Pierre Ahmed. It is a shame to see Stanway injured. Mead with the corner in. Headed away by Belgium. Toon will deal with the scraps. Looks to recycle it. James. Charles. Clinton. Clinton to Walsh. Williamson into Lauren James. James versus Van Havermet. Lauren James, good footwork, puts the ball in. Really good header though. And Belgium get it clear. England get themselves on the ball once again. Here is Charles. Goes inside to Clinton. Good turn from Grace Clinton. Pulled down by Justine Van Havermet. And that will be the first yellow card of the game. And an England free kick in a good position. Most obvious foul of the night, that. Really good turn from Grace Clinton. Shirt being pulled all the way as she looked to spin the Belgian defensive midfielder. Easiest yellow card the referee will have to give this evening. And England now with a free kick in a decent position. And plenty of options to step up over it. Conversation being had between Niamh Charles and, is it Lauren James? Yes, it is. Beth Mead's also in that conversation. Charles has now stepped away. It's Mead and James over it. It looks like it's going to be Lauren James. James for England. It's over the wall. It's not a bad effort. It's just over the bar. Really good attempt from Lauren James. Nicely taken free kick. Had the right lift on it. Just a little bit too high. Grazes the top of the crossbar. Not a bad effort at all from Lauren James. Did well to get it up and over the wall. And a wall that contained Justine Van Havermet. Well, which, if you've ever watched her play football, you know that she is quite tall. But not a bad effort from Lauren James in England. Just starting to up that work rate. Up the ante. But still yet to find an attempt on target. Long throw held up by Russo. Pounced on by Van Havermet. Good turn. And a ball fired forwards. Cut out by Millie Bright. Clinton. Oh, good footwork that from Belgium's forward. And wins herself a free kick. Clinton was the victim of the first foul. And is now the perpetrator for that one. Erlings just looked to spin away from her and just gets caught. It feels as like the exact same shirt Paul Clinton got away with for a worldie. Oh, again, the one against Aston Villa. Yeah, still a bit controversial, I think, that one. Kai says, is Maya playing instead of who? Maya Tissier, no, she's not playing tonight. She is on the bench for England. Millie Bright and Williamson both favoured over her. That Belgian free kick put into the box, but that is overhit. And straight out for a goal kick. Yannis Gaiman not quite getting that delivery right for Belgium. And well, the player it was aimed at, Amber Tisiak, was offside anyway. Well, that was West Ham midfielder. So that was Leicester midfielder to West Ham centre-half. Not quite working for Belgium. England back on the ball then. Russo holds it up nicely. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Here's Beth Mead. Mead, Bronze, Walsh. What a ball that is through to Beth Mead. Mead gets it into Russo off the post. Falls to Beth Mead who has a go and it's put over the bar. Really good block. Was there a touch in there? I think there was. But better from England. Really good football down the right-hand side. What a ball through from Kira Walsh. Mead cuts it across to Russo, who thunders one against the bar. Mead with the rebound. Blocked brilliantly by Tisiak. But Alessia Russo, the form she's in, inches away from putting England ahead in this football match. Really good effort from England's striker. Mead with another corner. Good ball in towards the back post. Chested down by Toon. Walsh. Bright. England recycling it well. Just can't get it into the penalty area. Mead. Lauren James with acres of space. Looks to put the ball in. It's not a bad one. It's a really good one. Flick goalwards and it's in. England lead. Lucy Bronze with the header. Really well worked corner by England. Lauren James recycles it well. Puts the ball in and picks out her Chelsea teammate. And after 20 minutes, England lead by a goal to nil. Lucy Bronze had a header that she got all wrong a few moments ago. But that time, she finds the back of the net. England 1, Belgium 0. A deserved lead for the Lionesses. A really good start. It's really well worked. The corner goes in. It's cleared. It's recycled well. Lauren James is given too much time and space to put that into the penalty area. And Lucy Bronze got the initial header. And there was a touch in there as well by Tisiak, which redirected it. Whether Bronze's header was going in or not will be interesting to see. Whether it goes down as a Bronze goal or an own goal, England will not care. England 1, Belgium 0. Yeah, Bronze flicks it on. Evrard steps to her right, and then it just takes a flick off Tisiak and goes the other way. Completely wrong foots the goalkeeper. But England have the lead. A good start by the Lionesses. And they have the breakthrough as we pass the 20-minute mark. Good stuff from England. Been much better. Started decently and just been much better in the last 5-10 minutes. Clinton to Bronze. And England now going to take the opportunity just to slow the game down. Get themselves on the ball. Williamson spreads the play across to Charles. Bright to Williamson. Has been confirmed, by the way, as a Bronze goal. Deemed that her header was on target anyway. Bronze down the line to Kira Walsh. Really good move from England. Walsh puts the ball in. A little bit overhit. Will Lauren James get there at the far corner? Yes, she will. James versus Janssens. Clinton puts it in. Looking for Mead. It's just overhit. And that will run through for a goal kick. But again, another teasing ball from England. Clinton was the one putting it in that time. Beth Mead can't quite get there. But really good stuff from Clinton in the middle of the park. Aisha said, very good performance from the Lionesses so far. Amir says, don't jinx it. No, yeah, I agree. It's been a good start by England. I think, especially the form they're in as well. It's really good to see. I think it was important that after a brilliant result against Spain, that England kept the momentum going, kept playing as well as they have been. They've won it back half the pitch here. Russo to Mead. Oh, she scuffed it and put it wide. What an opportunity for 2-0. Beth Mead's furious with herself. Understandably so. Lauren James wins it hard at the pitch. Gives it to Russo. Russo puts a teasing ball in. Mead holds it run very nicely, but just scuffs the finish wide. A glaring opportunity for Mead. And after the goals that she scored on Sunday, you felt an opportunity like that would have been very easy to put in the back of the net. I mean, that probably was a foul by Lauren James anyway. And I think Beth Mead was offside. So there were two complications in that move. But either way, Beth Mead should be finding the back of the net from there. She scored a brilliant volley and well, whether it was a cross or a shot for her second goal, no one will ever know. But to score from those two positions against Crystal Palace and then to turn up tonight and put that one wide, I should be very frustrated. Phil says, well, I don't see that often from Mead, though. Yeah. Especially, I think if start of the season, Mead, potentially, but I do think in the last couple of weeks she has looked much better. As I said, should be hoping to springboard off that performance against Palace. But tonight, not doing so far, but still a lot of time left in this football match for Beth Mead to have an impact. Game of one bounce going on in the middle of the park. Eventually, England can get the ball down and restore possession. Bright across to Charles. Charles to Lauren James. James looks to find Russo, cut out by Masipo. Lauren James wins it back, though. Will fall nicely, though, to Iliano, who will give it back to her goalkeeper, Everard. Everard across to Tisiak. Tisiak. Janssens. Back to Everard. Iliano. It's time to step in here. Goes to Yanis Cayman. Cayman fires it down the line, looking to pick out Yearlings, but just a little bit overhit there. Bronze with the throw for England. Looks to go down the line, picks out Grace Clinton. Mead. Across to Bright, a little bit overhit, but Bright will still get there. Phil saying, at first touch, she's sublime. The injury seems to have slowed her down, but technically she's brilliant. Yeah, I agree. I think her main problem was that when she first came back, as you're right, she'd lost that burst. So she's had to. What you have to do when you are a player, when you do have a long injury, and you're not as you're not as used to that having that burst. It is very difficult to readjust. You have to find something different to do. Belgium coming forwards now. Ball put into the penalty area by Janssens. Not quite dealt with by England. Bronze pokes it away. Van Havemet to Loba. Good footwork from the Belgian midfielder. Shot blocked. And Lauren James will get there. That's a little bit better from Belgium. Not quite getting a shot off, but winning the ball back. Bursting down the right-hand side and getting a ball into the box. Justin said, well, the screen says, what's going on, Rodman? I'm a Rodman super fan. I've had nothing new. Well, it sounds to be about based on what other people have been saying. There seems to be an issue with her back, or she said something about her back having issues, which is a shame to hear. A very good player. Hopefully, it's something that was not going to affect. She by sounds of it, she can play through it, but hopefully, it doesn't impact her ability or the potential she's got. Still a very, very young player and an exceptional talent, and one of those that is already one of the best in the world and has the potential to be at that elite level. Here is Grace Clinton. Clinton looks to get it to Toon. Ref got in the way there a bit, but because she didn't touch the ball, will allow play to go on. Long ball pumped up by Belgium. Hannah Hampton will come out and, well, got a bit of a run herself there. The England goalkeeper finding herself 30, 40 yards out of her goal. Bright switches it to Bronze. Good header by Lucy Bronze. Picks out Beth Mead. Mead fires it into Russo. Russo, brilliant hold up once again. Lauren James reverses it to Toon. Ella Toon up against Tisiak. Finds Lauren James cut out though. Good defending that from Belgium. And smashing the ball out of play. Really enjoying the Toon and James link up out on that left hand side. Two brilliant creative players. And when you combine them, they look even more dangerous. Here's Millie Bright. Bronze. Bursting into space in front of her. Masipo will come across. Bronze will continue going. Brilliant run from Lucy Bronze. Beating 2 or 3 in a Belgian shirt. Bronze puts the ball in. Not a bad one. Across the face of goal and no one gets there. Can Charles keep it in at the far corner? Yes, she can. But she'll only keep it in for Belgium to take the ball. What a run from Lucy Bronze. Shame no one managed to get across the box to get on the end of that. A brilliant run and a brilliant ball in. And a shame that, as I said, no one could do anything about it in an England shirt. Williamson fires it into Mead. Mead, that's handball from Yanni Skaman and will be an England free kick. And another good opportunity now for England. It's, a decent range. I don't think it's going to be a shot. Will probably be a ball into the box, but you never know. When you've got the likes of Beth Mead and Lauren James on the pitch, you can both strike a ball very nicely. You feel like either one of them could definitely find the back of the net from here, but I do think that it will be a crossing opportunity. It's a conversation once again between LJ and Mead. Lucy Bronze as well getting involved. I think someone will look to pull the trigger here for England. Everard's definitely setting up her wall to be that way. Mead plays it short to the run of James. James puts it across the box, headed away by Williamson. She ended up clearing it almost for Belgium. Millie Bright was right behind her. Needs to be a shout there from Millie Bright. Here's Bronze. Bronze to Mead. Back to Lucy Bronze. Williamson. Walsh. Bronze. Mead looks to find Walsh. Brilliant interception. Hospital pass that from Bronze. Yearlings was interested, but Walsh deals with it well. England hold on to the ball. Toon, Mead, Russo. Russo's offside. Flag goes up. Bit of a sloppy one that from Russo. Just had to be a little bit more aware of where she was. I'm surprised that she's got caught off in that position because it wasn't a ball in behind. It was a ball that was just played into her. Yeah, I like this free kick routine from England. Both Bronze and James ran over the ball and made runs into the penalty area. Mead then laid it into Lauren James, who put the ball across the box. And if it wasn't for Leah Williamson heading it away rather than towards the goal, England potentially could have scored from that move. Dolph Manatee 120 says Robin is fine. What are you talking about? Yeah, she's not actually out injured, and I haven't read this myself. But I don't know if you scroll up and see it, but she came out and said something about how her recent back recent back injuries have kind of become a bit of a problem. If you read it, I can't. If someone has read up on it, I can't remember who mentioned it earlier. Then do inform everyone else because I haven't read it myself, but I think it's one of those ongoing issues that shouldn't ever be a massive problem, but should never cause it's never going to be back to 100%. That's a long ball, but the flag will go up. Yearlings timing that run wrong. Here is it, Lauren James. James to Toon. Toon to Williamson. Hampton. Back to Williamson. There you go. Phil says she did an interview and said her back troubles are not fixed, but had to be managed. Yeah, that's the essential. Which hopefully, they will be managed and dealt with, and won't impact her playing career. But it's always a shame. Switch to the play from Walshall and Lauren James losing her footing out on that left-hand side, and that'll run through for a Belgian throw. Taken quickly by Tisiak, but too quickly, and ends up just getting that all wrong and putting it out for an England throw now. Neve Charles with the ball. Looks to throw it long. Looking for Russo. Good turn from Russo. Wrestling with Alano. Really good from Alessia Russo. Advantage played. Bursting into the box. Miscommunication between her and Mead. And they end up kind of tackling each other. Wasted opportunity there for England. But what a run from Russo. Causing all sorts of problems. Leading that line. Belgium struggling to contain her. Here is Everard in the Belgium net. On the ball now. Goes to Iliano. Across to Cayman. Cayman. Goes out wide. Ball down the line. Into Yearlings, who switches the play to Janssens. It's a good switch to the play. Janssens up against Charles. Coming inside now. Forced wider by Lauren James. Goes back to Tisiak. Here is Taloba. Big tackle that from Charles, and England had the ball back. Here is Lauren James. Holds on to it well. Just shielding the ball on the edge of her own penalty area. Lauren James goes to Millie Bright, whose first touch lets her down and runs out for a Belgian throw. And for all the work that Lauren James did shielding that ball to lay it to Chelsea and England teammate, just for Bright to take a poor touch will be very frustrating. Here is Tisiak on the throw, plays a 1-2, and ends up getting the ball back. Ball put in, that's not a bad one. Looking for Yearlings at the far post. Goes over her head, but she will run and look to recycle it. Bronze forces her back. Here is Cayman. Cayman puts the ball in. It's a good one. Looking for Janssens. Big header from Charles. Hooked away by Clinton. Back to Iliano. To Cayman. Cayman. To Van Havermet. Back to Cayman. Here is Van Havermet. Good football this from Belgium. Finally get themselves on the ball for a bit. Masipo, good turn. Finds Yearlings. Goes back to her midfielder. Big tackle. Will it be an England ball? Apparently not. No. Apparently the last touch was off a white shirt. Filtjens will take the throw. Filtjens. Throw though isn't good enough and goes back to an England shirt. Bright to Walsh. Walsh to Bronze. Williamson looks to play Russo in down the line once again. Foot chase between her and Van Havermet. But the Belgian will get there first. Goes back to Everard. Everard goes long. Masipo wins the header. Williamson wins the second one. Bouncing ball not dealt with by either side. England eventually, though, get the ball down now. Williamson looks to find Beth Mead. Could have been a high foot there from Van Havermet, but the ref is happy to let that run. Ball goes down the line. Good touch by Yearlings, Masipo, Cayman, Van Havermet. And Belgium play themselves out of a bit of difficulty there. Here is Iliano to Cayman. Here's Toilings. Good footwork from the youngster. Plays a lovely ball into Masipo, but the flag is up. And again, that will be an England free kick. Just not timing that run correctly, not getting that ball in behind quick enough by Belgium. You know, to be fair, it's a tight one. I'm not too sure if that was offside. Looked like Millie Bright might have been playing Masipo on there. But alas, the flag went up anyway, and England will restart with a free kick. Here is Bright to Williamson. Bronze. Looks to go down the line. Cuts out well, though, by Filtjens on this left-hand side for Belgium. Only a few minutes away from the half-time break. England leading by 1-0 in this first half. Can they double their lead before the end of the first half? Bright. Charles. Toon to Lauren James. Lauren James looks to play it in behind to Russo. Cut out by Tisiak. James heads it forwards once again, and Tisiak will knock it out of play. England looking to end the half strong. Clinton, Russo, good hold up. Walsh, Williamson. Here's Charles. Charles back to Williamson. Had a lot on that pass, but it's a good touch from the Arsenal centre half. Walsh will sit it out now for an England throw. Neve Charles, ball in hand. Plays it short to Toon. Good 1-2 between the two of them. And allows England to get the ball down and play. And find their way all the way back to Hannah Hampton. Hampton fires it into Clinton. Good turn again by Grace Clinton. Here's Beth Mead. Mead. Walsh. Williamson. Back to Hannah Hampton. Millie Bright. Across to Charles. Charles looks to find Russo a little bit wayward though, and pounced on by Van Havermet, who looks to release to Loba. But that'll be won by Charles. Well recovered that from Neve Charles. Did well to get back in and win that ball. Here's Toon. Bright. Out wide to Bronze. Bronze darting inside. Good run. Walsh, lovely ball out wide to Beth Mead. Mead puts it in. Russo off the post again. And for the second time tonight, Alessia Russo fires one against the woodwork. Another really good move by England. Lovely stuff. Lovely filter down the right-hand side. What a ball from Kira Walsh. Beth Mead cuts it across. And Russo looks to beat Evrard at her near post once again. And clatters it against the woodwork. Another brilliant opportunity for Alessia Russo. Carbon copy really of her first attempt. The ball cut back by Mead. And Russo firing against the post. Fine margins for England's number 9. And you feel like that goal for Russo in the form she's in, it is imminent. Especially the way she's played tonight. Get good again. Consistent features of what we've seen from Russo's game recently. Exceptional movement, brilliant timing. You know, accurate shots, hitting the target. Well, I know they're hitting the post, but they're very, very close. And you feel like that goal is coming. That second goal is coming for England. Bright. Lauren James. England now working it down the left-hand side. Charles looks to play it into Toon. Cut out, though, by Tisiak and put out for a throw. But again, when England move the ball like that, Belgium just can't keep up. It's those 3-4 pass combinations down the right-hand side. It's that triangle link-up that is really causing Belgium problems. Again, brilliant from Walsh. Clinton. Overhit pass and Toon quite can't get there. And Belgium look to counter. Masifo looks to go to Yearlings, but gets it all wrong, and that is cut out by Williamson. Goes back to Hampton, who will fire it out the pitch. Couple minutes remaining in the first half. Emiliano. Feels he's playing some good football. I'll take Russo off of that knee issues and just a contact. Yeah, of course, I think there'll be a lot of domestic clubs and managers and fans who want none of their players to play and rest as much as possible in these couple of games as we approach the business end of the domestic seasons with trophies on the line. But yeah, I think that it does look to be... Russo looks to be okay. That is not okay, though, from Cayman. A poor pass, and it's cut out by England. And now it's an overload on the right-hand side once again. Beth Mead for England. Doesn't do anything with it. Shimmies past Alano. Good shot and a brilliant save by Everard to put it wide. Beth Mead looked like she'd taken too long. Looked like she'd overplayed it. Lovely shimmy to get past Iliano. A really good shot. But an even better save from Everard at close range to push it away for a corner. Lovely footwork from Mead. Not a bad effort, but well matched. Parried nicely by Nikki Everard. And that is out for another England corner. Gracie Henry on does anyone know where I can watch in the USA? In the USA, I'm not too sure. I apologise. If anyone else knows, then feel free to put it in the chat. If you can't find anything, then make sure to stick around here. It's bundled home. Is it going to count? Yes, it is. Not sure who got the final touch, but on the stroke of half-time, England double their advantage. The ball once again put in by Beth Mead. Flicked on towards the back post by Lucy Bronze. And this time, there was someone there at the far corner to meet it. Think it was Millie Bright who got the final touch. Another brilliant header from Bronze. Flicked goalwards. And let's see here. Yeah, Millie Bright at the back post. Bundles it in. Does well to beat Everard to it. And England lead by 2. And that is half-time. Here at Ashton Gate. England 2, Belgium 0. A Lucy Bronze header in the 20th minute. And a goal on the stroke of half-time. Have the Lionesses 2-0 up here. After a very solid 45 minutes of football. Bronze scoring the first. And setting up the second. And England are very comfortable in this Nations League game. Nick Nat, welcome to the stream. Tuning in at the perfect opportunity just to catch that second goal. But England, a really, really solid 45 minutes of football. Have moved the ball very, very nicely. Have had some really strong passages where when England have got that ball down, that 1-2 touch football, those 3-4 player combinations, and Belgium just haven't been able to keep up with it. And very, very good stuff from the Lionesses. Nick, that's a bit late to the party. That's absolutely all right, Nick Nack. You're here, that's what matters. Maria says James doesn't look entirely comfortable coming off there. She was holding her leg just for the corner. Well, hopefully that is not an issue. If it is an issue, then you'd think that Wiegman will bring her off. But yeah, Lauren James again has got on the ball tonight, looked very, very solid. But any issues, and I think Sonia Bonpastor will be on the blower to Serena Wiegman, telling her to get Lauren James off ASAP and play her as little as possible, as Chelsea look to seal a quadruple at the end of this domestic season. But yeah, really good stuff from England. A decent start. Took their time to get going. Just settled into the game. But built on that start. And again, it's been a succession of corners for the Lionesses tonight that have really just kept that pressure on Belgium. It's just been relentless. Constantly getting that ball into the box and causing issues for this Belgium backline. Especially when England, for me, are carrying more aerial threat. And that's showing. 2 corners, 2 goals. The first one was a corner that was initially put in and cleared, but England recycled it well. Lauren James puts the ball back into the penalty area, and Lucy Bronze flicks it on. A little bit of help from Amber Tisiak on the way through, but nonetheless, a Lucy Bronze goal. And then that one on the stroke of half time. Again, another corner put into the box by Mead, flicked on by Bronze towards the back post, and Millie Bright was there to bundle it home. So England, well, Chelsea defenders coming up trumps in front of goal in that first half. Someone on the screen says, I hope Alessia is okay. She keeps holding her knee. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of issues that players keep holding bits and bobs and everyone being very worried about their players, which, again, as you'd expect, every fan right now is going to be very concerned about any of their key players getting injured in internationals and games like this. But hopefully there'll be no issues for anyone as such, whether it's Lauren James holding her leg or Russo holding her knee or, I don't know, anyone else with any injuries. Hopefully everyone stays fit for the domestic seasons. Let's have a look at the numbers then in that first half for England. Very, very convincing. 70% of the ball, 8 shots, 3 on target, 7 corners in 45 minutes of football. That's about one every... My maths is going to fail me here. One every 6 is a 42. So it's about one every 6.5 minutes potentially. But yeah, I think that nevertheless what the actual maths is, 7 corners shows how England have really done very, very well to keep that pressure on Belgium, forcing them to put the ball out of play and forcing them to concede dead ball situations, which England have taken advantage of. And I think that is a very, very big thing for England that people potentially may overlook, is that being a threat from set pieces is very, very key, because when you get round to those international tournaments, scoring from corners, looking threatening from free kicks and other set piece situations can massively benefit you. If you need a goal and you get a corner and you've got the threat that England pose, it could be absolutely key as we get round to the summer. But really good to see England causing a lot of issues from these set pieces, getting 2 goals from corners, one directly from directly as a consequence of the corner, one being in the passenger play afterwards. But really good stuff from England, causing a threat in that penalty area. Brilliant finish by Millie Bright for the second one. She just throws herself at the ball and gets some contact on it. Phil also worried about Russo's knee. Nina says perfect time now to make a few subs. Spot on, 2-0 up, especially when you're playing the exact same opposition in a couple days. I think if you're Wiegman, you keep things fresh. People mentioning Russo. I think that you could look to play Aggie Beever-Jones for 45 minutes. Again, if you want to bring off Lauren James, you could look at maybe bringing on Park, or you could put Beever-Jones on the left and bring Paris on through the middle. England have got options, not too many options, but have got some options to play around with if they do want to make changes at half time. And Maria says Lucy goal and assist, she's done her job, some rest maybe. Yeah, I think that from a Chelsea point of view, they would love to see Bronze and Charles come off tonight. I think that Charles coming off is more unlikely, but as you say, Bronze, goal and assist. I could see a Letitia coming on, or a Carter, or a Morgan, just to give Bronze a bit of rest for the second 45. And again, Phil echoing that message, be nice to see some significant minutes for the fringe players. Yeah, I think that, again, another thing that people I keep banging on at the Euros, but another thing that people overlook is that when you get to those international tournaments, it's not just about your starting 11. It's about your whole squad. So it would be, I think, that over the course of this international break, in the last 45 minutes tonight and in 90 minutes on Tuesday, I think these are 2 games to give a lot of opportunities to more of those squad players, as you say, the fringe players, to give up. I think it'd be nice to see Paris and Beever-Jones and Letitia get some opportunities, get a good, as you say, significant minutes. That's the best way to put it. Rather than getting these 5-10 minute cameos, give them a good chunk of minutes. We could see 45 minutes for one of those squad players today if Wiegman feels like it. Summer says, I want Alessia to score, but at the same time keep her safe. We need her for the Champions League and the Euros, obviously. Put Bowl around her if you have to. Yeah, I think that's the general consensus around all the star players on the pitch tonight for those domestic WSL fans. But yeah, Russo has had a very, very good game and could have scored. She's already hit the woodwork twice tonight. Very similar efforts, 2 good opportunities, inches away both times from finding the back of the net. But yeah, as you say, a key component to the Arsenal side. She has been in brilliant form, but the best way to keep a player in form is to keep them playing consistently. And you don't want her picking up any, even if it's a little niggle here and there that means she misses one or 2 games. It's far from ideal. So it's important that, yes, Russo and the likes are playing very, very well, but the way to keep them in good form is to keep them fresh, keep rotating them, make sure that they're not getting overloaded with minutes. Someone said Renee and Sonia are probably watching like a hawk. Yeah, And I bet Mark Skinner's doing the same for Toon and for Clinton, and Nick Cushing will be sitting here hoping, well, I was about to say hoping any of his City players won't get injured, but I've just realised there's none of them on the pitch. So Nick Cushing will be hoping that none of his players get subbed on. Nick Nat says, great header from Lucy for the second goal, but the Belgian kit should have done better there, but we'll take it. Yeah, it was one of those. It's well directed from Bronze, and then it is just a 50-50 between Bright and Evraz. And because Millie Bright is in an upright position and she's using all of her force, it's difficult for Evraz to get down to it and push it past Bright. Bright's kind of stood over her, like, this looming over her. It's just this presence of, like, I'm going to put this ball in the back of the net and I'm going to knock it past you. Phil says, I'm not concerned about resting players, to be honest. 22-game season for WSL, it shouldn't be a problem. I just want to see the fringe players get more time in the team. I do get your